I do remember the very first day, opening statements, they passed pictures around to the jury, and it was tremendously upsetting. I remember coming home thinking, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this trial. During the trial, I went home every single day. It was a very narrow-minded focus. It was the only thing I could think about. It was the only thing I was allowed to think about, and I wasn't allowed to discuss it with anyone. It just sat there rotting in the pit of your stomach every single day. Single-minded, mind-numbing boredom while you're in the trial, emotionally shut down, tired all the time, and you lay awake at night rehashing testimony because at night you can't stop. But as the trial wore on, and especially as we began to get towards the end of it, it began to sink in greater and greater that at some point we're going to have to decide and be absolutely certain when we decide that this man is guilty, and then after we determine if he's guilty, that we're going to have to determine whether or not the death penalty is the appropriate punishment for that. And so that just began to weigh heavier and heavier on me, and I suspect on other jurors also. It was a gradual realization. When you first get asked the question, are you in favor of the death penalty? How do you feel about it? Could you sentence a man to the death penalty? Could you find him guilty knowing that could be the sentence? Those were all fairly straightforward and easy questions to answer because they weren't a reality. And all of a sudden you're faced with the reality, and it's rapidly approaching. You can see the trial begin to wind down. And as that goes on, you begin to face the responsibility that you have. So it marked me. I believe it marks all of the jury. To tell you the truth, I think it marks the defense attorneys. I think it marks the prosecutors. I think it marks the judge, the court reporters. It marks everybody who's part of it. It is an overwhelming burden to put on people. We're fathers, we're mothers, we're caregivers, we're doctors, lawyers, teachers. We are perfectly innocent people. It's more than most people can or should bear, and quite frankly, it's just not necessary.